Thanks so much for joining us here at the Network Breakfast. Good morning once again. It's Tuesday, and we're going to talk about cord cutting for 2021. Everything you need to know, and maybe some stuff you don't really need, but it's just for background information. So, but before we get started, I'm going to let everybody take a minute and say who they are, what they do, and maybe even some contact information. And we're going to start with our friend Ray Antonelli. Ray.
Good morning, everyone. Most of you know me as a reverse mortgage expert, but today, since the subject matter is so current, we're going to be talking about cord cutting. And I offer a service for only $59.97 per month that includes over 1,000 channels, and it also has most of the premium movie services, most of the sports channels as well. I don't watch a whole lot of sports except for the Browns and the Cavs, that sort of thing, but I know it offers that, and it also offers most of the local affiliates across the country. So time shifting is very easy to do with this service. It also has a favorites category, so you can save 20 or 30 of the channels you want to watch mostly, so you don't have to search through the thousands. You just put, click favorite and go back to that channel, and it's only $59.97 per month. And there's no contracts. You can stop at any time. And if anybody wants information, just give me a buzz, 216-337-7520.
Hi, Bob.
Great. Thanks, Ray. Thanks for making that available. It's very poignant today, especially. I appreciate it. And thanks for being here. We're going to say good morning to Chris Walters. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and the company. No.
You're muted.
There it is. Oh,
Chris Walters with See-Through Windows. I provide vinyl replacement windows, not Windows 10. I cover a territory from Port Clinton to the Pennsylvania border, Cleveland to Canton. We also install what we provide. We have an installation service for windows and glass block. You can call me at 330-604-0403, See-Through Windows.
excellent. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for being here. We're going to say good morning to Ask Mike Bentley. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. And Chris Walters at See-Through Windows also does patio doors, in which I hope to have my new patio door installed by one of Chris's installers by the end of the week. So again, nice. Chris does patio doors as well. Great value, great quality, and give Chris a call. I'm Mike Bentley. I'm from the Brooks and Stafford Company. I am an insurance professional. I especially work in the area of health insurance and benefits. I work with small businesses, non-for-profits, individuals who need individual coverage, those who are transitioning from one job to another job that need short-term care, short-term coverage, those who are graduating to Medicare and are confused about their Medicare options. So when you have a question concerning health insurance, ask Mike, give me a call, Mike Bentley from the Brooks and Stafford Company. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mike. And thanks for making sure we know that Chris Walters and his company does patio doors. Nice. Good morning, Rob Lord. We're so happy to see you. Let's hear what's going on.
Good morning, everyone. Rob Lord. I'm with Thrivent Financial and financial advisor. That's a really boring term. So what do I actually do? I can save you with taxes and help you make more money. If that's exciting, give me a call.
Sounds great. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for being here.
I'll keep it simple.
Sure. And now we're going to say good morning to our master photographer. We're happy he's here. What an exciting career he's had, and he'll tell us a little about it now. Good morning, Scott Morrison.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Scott Morrison. My company is Discovery Photo. I am a full-time, full-service photographer. Have been now for 30 years. Do everything from headshots, modeling portfolios, weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever you need, I'm here for you. I'm also very active within the movie industry. We have 2 feature films coming up starting September 15th and the other one starting at the middle of October. So that'll keep me busy up until the fall. So very happy for that.
Yeah.
My name is Scott Morrison, company's Discovery Photo, when image counts.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for being here. And now we'd like to say good morning, as I like to say, the lovely and talented. And once again, Scott took new pictures of her, so we can't wait to see those because he has a wonderful subject to start with. And we're going to say good morning to Trina Gigax.
Thank you. I'll have to upload my new photo instead of my Bentley picture when I take my video off. My name's Trina Gigax. My company's Fresh Eyes Reading. I'm a copy editor, copywriter, freelance. I help people with their writing or their editing, their blogs, website content, newsletters. If you're writing a letter to employees, all kinds of stuff. I just help you improve your writing so that it's clear and concise and that the message gets across. Trina from Fresh Eyes Reading.
Excellent. Thank you, Trina. And thank you for being here. Now I'm going to continue on and I'm going to share the screen and show what I prepared today for our presentation. And it'll look something like this. Cord Cutter's Guide, everything you need to know. Cord cutting for 2021, how to cut the cable cord and save money in 2021. And you see all the different Roku channel, Pluto, Sling, Philo, the Criterion channel, which is a new movie channel. They got tons of movies back to the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, Fubo TV, YouTube TV, Hulu, Disney, Amazon Prime, and ESPN Plus. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Jim Kimball from the Cord Cutting Report. And now, here's how this goes. A little bit of background. Cord cutting started out as a way to shed a hefty cable bill without sacrificing your favorite shows or live sports. But now, streaming and using a TV antenna is the new gold standard for watching television. For years, cable companies such as Comcast had the exclusive rights to networks like CNN, ESPN, and AMC. Those days are long gone. Whether you want to watch ESPN without cable or just catch up on local news, cutting the cord from cable TV or satellite providers is the way to go in 2021. There are 4 important things that you'll learn with this guide. You can pretty much watch anything you want without bending to the will of cable companies. Even if you want to watch live sports events like NBA games or college football, it's no big deal. TV antennas will become more useful to more people in 2021 and beyond, thanks to Next Gen TV ATSC3. And what that is, I thought I would print this out and give us a background on Next Gen TV. The term ATSC itself stands for Advanced Television Systems Committee, and ATSC3 is actually the newest type of ATSC standards for signal broadcasts. The ATSC broadcasting standards are a set of protocols to standardize how television signals are broadcasted in the U.S. and also how antennas and receiving devices should interpret the signals. The first ATSC standard, and the one we're using today, the ATSC-1, was launched more than 2 decades ago in 1996 and is still widely used in the U.S. and in many different countries. TV tuners, or more accurately, TV receivers that operate with these ATSC standards are dubbed ATSC tuners or ATSC receivers. Interesting enough, ATSC 2.0 was never actually launched, and all plans for ASC 2.0 were adopted into the recently launched ATSC 3.0 standard. The ATSC 3 standard was officially launched as recently as in 2017 in South Korea in preparation for the 2018 Winter Olympic Games. The main difference between the ATSC 3 and the older ATSC 1 is that now ATSC 3 uses both the standard OTA over-the-air signals and internet signals to receive television content, meaning It can be thought of as a hybrid between a standard OTA reception and a cable satellite TV reception. That's the background of that. You can save a heap of money by dropping your cable or satellite TV provider, even if you have a landline phone. You can be a wise consumer and control your spending. The idea of subscription fatigue is nonsense. Step 1, test out your cord cutting options. You need to make some decisions. Chances are you're paying way too much for cable, satellite, and internet. There's an excellent chance that you're actually watching a fraction of what you pay for. You need to get out a pad and pen. It's homework time. Think about the live TV channels you actually watch, not the ones you like or think you watch. Just write down the TV channels you actually watch. Once you have finished your list, count up your channels and ask yourself this very important question. Do I or we need live TV? If the answer is yes, that's fine. Most of us still do. News and sports are the two largest factors behind the need for some kind of live TV service. This is where cutting the cord starts to get complicated for people. Signing up for and canceling a subscription by visiting the website of a streaming service is a fairly easy process. Do I really need live TV? Step 2. If you definitely want live TV, then focus on the streaming services that provide them. To keep it simple, here's a list of just the bigger players with multiple live TV channels worth considering. These are listed in alphabetical order. Most of these services offer a free trial with the exception of AT&T TV and Sling TV. If you cancel online before the trial ends, then you owe nothing. And you'll see there the live TV service is AT&T TV for 65 plus channels for $69.99. Fubo, which has become popular in the past year or so, which is $64.99 for 130 channels. Hulu plus live TV, this is very popular, and now it's $64.99. It used to be in the 40s, but you're getting 65 channels, but they're 65 channels that you probably will watch. Maybe not 65 of them, but maybe 10 or 12. Philo TV is $25 for 60 plus channels. Sling TV for $35, and YouTube TV $64.99 for 85 plus channels. You will need internet service and a streaming device to sample any of these live TV services. There is no runaway winner here. Each service has its perks and drawbacks. Choosing which one works best for you will depend on that handwritten list that you made earlier. So, for example, if you definitely need ESPN, then your cheapest option is Sling TV at $35 a month. But you might like a larger channel package, which costs more. So you can try Hulu plus live TV, Fubo TV, or YouTube TV instead. Maybe you care nothing about sports, but you're a huge fan of The Curse of Oak Island and must see every new episode the minute it premieres. I have to admit, I'm one of the ones that watch it, and I can't wait for the next episode. It's compelling. I don't know why, but it's compelling. They dig and dig in. Yeah, and I'm waiting for something to happen, and they get like little trinkets, and it keeps them going. They're spending millions on that island. I'd like to see more happen, but maybe that's the attraction. If that's you, then Philo has 60 live TV channels for $25 a month. There's unlimited cloud DVR and a huge on-demand library. So the value proposition is pretty big if you're pro entertainment and less sports. Let's say you only watch local channels such as PBS or NBC. Unlikely, but maybe. A TV antenna is the way to go. Step 3, let's talk about TV antennas, of which I have a large antenna in the attic. The challenge with making the most out of a TV antenna is picking out the right one to start with. Avoid the $10 antenna and unrealistic claims. If you type in best indoor TV antenna or best outdoor TV antenna into an online retailer, there's an excellent chance you're going to end up with a list of TV antennas from manufacturers that overpromise what they can actually do. An outdoor TV antenna that's on a roof, or better yet, on a roof and elevated even higher on a pole, may be able to get a consistent UHF signal 50 to 55 miles away. At that distance, it's tough to get a consistent signal that works well through rain or shine. We're lucky in this area. We have quite a few channels in the Cleveland area because we have so many people that live around here. So we don't need this to go 50, 55 miles. We can have a 20-mile antenna and get 30 channels easily. An oversimplified way to explain TV antennas is this. You're working with something that's closer to a butterfly net than a tractor beam on the Death Star in Star Wars. Antennas Direct, its sibling company of Mohu, Weingart, Channel Master, and many others, not named here, are among the reputable antenna makers in the United States. I have a Channel Master, 4228. Rather, it's 3 feet square. It works wonders. Marketing terms equals confusion. Even the best TV antenna makers use language that can be confusing for consumers. There is no such thing as an HD antenna or HD TV antenna or 4K ready antenna per se. A TV antenna is simply just that. There's no specific design that determines picture resolution. Most over-the-air signals from major broadcasters, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and PBS, are in high definition, or rather 720 or 1080i. You notice the I. That's interpolation picture resolution. Local channels are not transmitted in 1080p. You will find some sub-channels that are broadcast in 480p as well. 480p was the first high-definition signal. Any TV antenna, including a homemade one, can pick up these signals. Why TV antennas matter more in 2021 and beyond. This is, let's talk about TV antennas, continued page 2. A new broadcast standard called ATSC, which we learned about earlier, or Next Gen TV, is already rolling out all over the U.S. For consumers, it will mean the ability to receive free over-the-air signals in 4K picture resolution, HDR, and Dolby Atmos. The good. You won't need a new TV antenna for ATSC3, and free over-the-air channels will be easier to get for more people across the U.S. At some point, you may be even able to watch all this free TV in your car or on your smartphone. The not so good news. You're going to need a new TV tuner to get these new ultra high definition channels. On the flip side, any station that switches to ATSC3 will have to maintain the current digital signal for another 5 years. So you still have a decent chunk of time where you won't need a new TV tuner box to get free live channels. So we have 5 years before we need to move to this, getting a tuner that does the ATSC 3.0. Step 4, pick your streaming subscriptions. There are massive libraries of free movies and TV shows you can watch. All you need is an internet connection, a smart TV, or a streaming device connected to a TV. If you really wanted to keep your TV watching diet lean, you have plenty to feast on without paying anything. And by the way, I'm talking about all legal streaming services that are supported by advertising. Jailbreaking a Fire Stick or doing something funky to your streaming device to get free movies illegally is a bad idea and unnecessary. You can get your live local news from NBC or Fox station News on app. You can watch Hollywood blockbusters, Pluto TV. There are great live concerts, Zumo. Even public libraries are getting in on the act. You should check yours to see if they provide a free subscription to Hoopla or Canopy to its patrons. Exceptional. On Roku, the Roku channel has free movies, TV shows, and live streaming channels. Amazon has its own free streaming service, IMDb TV, for Fire Stick and Fire TV owners. Because this might be the first time in your life that you are reshaping your TV watching diet, you are dumping the all-you-can-eat buffet that cable and satellite providers have been shoving in your face for years. You may have never heard of the Criterion Channel. The streaming service gathers best films around the globe and has a library that goes back decades, and it's $90 a year. Cutting the cord isn't just about covering the ground you once had with cable. It gives you the opportunity to delve into your interests and style more. Step 5, lower your internet bill before you cut the cord. For this example, the ISP agent insisted the lowest price for a standalone internet connection was $69.99 a month. Never tell an internet service provider that you're streaming, especially when they start with those probing questions about my needs. Say that you use a TV antenna, which is true, and simply need an internet connection for email. Leave it at that. Customer service agent may insist that there are no other plans, but if you keep saying no thanks, that's not what I'm looking for, eventually you will strike a better deal. Internet speed. It's important to understand that you don't need that fast of an internet connection to enjoy Netflix or even a live TV service such as Sling TV. Take a look at this chart. It outlines how many megabits per second you need to stream video in high definition. And I put a note there. The note is its speeds represent single stream minimums, meaning if you have a house full of kids or a house full of people that are all doing something different at one time, you're going to need to up these numbers. But if it's just you or you and another person using one stream, then Netflix only requires 5 megabits recommended for HD quality. The AT&T TV requires 2.5 to 7.5 megabits recommended for HD quality. Now, this is for a single stream only. Vudu, running at 1080p, requires 4,500 kilobits, which is a section of megabits. Amazon Video requires 5 megabits for high definition videos, and Sling TV has a constant speed of 5 megabits or more. Now, I have a Spectrum running at 200 megabits, and it reliably runs at 230. So from this, I don't need anywhere near that. So I should be calling them. I'm not gonna because I love the speed, but I should be calling them and asking them to downgrade back to 100 or even 50. I asked Ray earlier what it would take to run the service that he enjoys, and it would be around 50 megabits, which is 4 times. I have 4 times that speed that I'm paying $70 a month for. If I was interested in nothing but saving money, I would be on that. Streaming in high definition requires a fairly minimal internet connection. Even if you had a snazzy 4K TV and wanted to watch some live sports in 4K on Fubo TV, the recommended download speed is 25 megabits. That's still pretty minimal compared to some of the internet speeds that are offered by cable TV providers. As I mentioned, I have 200 plus megabits using Spectrum. It's wonderful speed, it really is, but I don't need it, and if I needed to save money, I should. This may sound like common sense, but it's worth mentioning. The last person you want to consult about how much internet speed you need is the person selling it to you, which makes a whole lot of sense. Okay, stop renting a cable modem and Wi-Fi router. Step 6, owning your own cable modem and Wi-Fi router is better than renting one. In my experience, I own all my own equipment. In my experience, using my own equipment saves me money. It also gives me better performance because the Wi-Fi router that I bought is well suited for the layout of my home. I have a Nighthawk. As a consumer, you should know that there have been issues with using rented equipment. A major ISP's rental modem router Wi-Fi speeds were approximately 80% slower than advertised. The New York State's findings about the ISP speed at the time came as a result of 16 months of testing. One culprit for the slower speeds, according to the lawsuit, was the modem router units that customers rented. So they were found to have purposefully throttled back the speed of the modem router back to 80%. We don't want, and they paid a fine for that, a hefty fine, over $100 million they paid in New York State. So better to better to buy your cable modem and Wi-Fi router than to rent from any ISP. The monthly rental fee on your cable or internet bill is substantial. Comcast Xfinity service charges $14 a month for renting a modem. You can easily buy your own modem for Xfinity and recoup your costs in about 5.5 months. Verizon FiOS charges between $12 and $15 per month, depending upon the router you rent. The math on this is simple. Your equipment pays for itself. Choosing your own equipment lets you evaluate what will work best for you in your home. Does your house need a Wi-Fi router or a mesh network? A mesh network is you buy a base unit and satellite units that go throughout your house to make sure that your Wi-Fi signal maintains that 5 bars, and it's the same SSID throughout the house. Sometimes if you put an extender, it'll have a different SSID name, and it may have a different password. So buying a mesh unit eliminates that. You'll buy a base unit, and then however many you think you need, you get 2, 3, 4, 5 units, depending on the size of your house. And they all connect to the same base unit, and you get an even flow of Wi-Fi speeds. Number 7, how to choose a streaming device. The big 3 streaming devices, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Google Chromecast, are the best entry points for first-time cord cutters. They're inexpensive and easy to use. I have several 4K Roku devices. I have a Premium, I have a Roku Ultra, and a Roku Express, as well as a 4K Fire TV, the box unit, not the stick, and 2 Apple TVs. All were easy to set up, and the caveat is they were easy to set up for me. They may not be that easy for you, but they were for me, and provide plenty of content. The one device that's missing for me is a Google Chromecast, which I'll be investigating in the newest model shortly. Next slide. Google Chromecast, is it a game changer? The new Google Chromecast with Google TV is the most exciting release for streaming hardware in the last few years. Being able to turn on your TV and quickly find something to watch without endlessly scrolling through app after app is a big deal. It actually makes your personal data that Google collects about your tastes useful to you. Imagine that. The 3 most important features for any hardware developer in the streaming game right now are ease of use, integration, and aggregation. The Chromecast has nailed all 3 pretty well, but it's not perfect. Chromecast currently supports 30 streaming platforms with its recommendation engine. It also supports ways to tap into over-the-air channels from popular OTA DVRs such as Tablo and HD Home Run. If the new Chromecast begins supporting a greater number of streaming platforms in its recommendation engine, Roku and Amazon could have a real problem. What about Apple TV, you say? Apple TV is fine, but it's pricey at $180. So I consider it more of a luxury product than a solution-based one. If you're fully invested in the Apple ecosystem, iPhones, MacBook, iPads, then going with an Apple TV makes sense. Otherwise, you have a number of good, inexpensive choices to expand your universe of cord-cutting options. Oh boy. Smart TVs. Check to see whether your current TV has smart TV software before you buy a streaming device. Android TV, LGs with WebOS. I have an LG 4K TV 55 that has WebOS built in. So I get a lot of internet channels and my antenna just plugs in and it's happy. And Samsung smart TVs are just a few of the bigger names that support major streaming apps such as Netflix and Disney Plus. You might have that built right into your TV. You don't need a streaming device. Roku and Amazon have struck deals with TV makers to have their own streaming software included in TV sets. TCL makes the 6 series a remarkably good 4K television with Roku software built in. So you don't need a separate Roku device. Years ago, the conventional wisdom was that smart TV software was not well supported with needed updates. That's largely a thing of the past. TV manufacturers are well aware that streaming is the future. Built-in streaming software is becoming a priority for TV manufacturers and big business overall. That's a good thing for consumers. Step 8, congratulations. Brag to family and friends about all that cash you're saving. If you made it to this stage, congratulations. Now you can be that annoying relative at Thanksgiving talking about how much you're saving wads of cash. The cable man isn't sticking it to you anymore. And hopefully you can help out those same family members after they get sick of listening to you. Cut the cord, cable cord, and save money. Once again, special thanks to Jim Kimball, the cord cutting report. And as always, guess what? Thank you for your kind attention. Boing. Thank you for listening. And now we can have a discussion if you like. Maybe you could tell me what you guys are doing at the home front. I know Ray, he can give us a 1 minute about his product and how it's worked out for him since he started doing this probably 2.5 years ago, I'm thinking, right, Ray? Okay. We don't have
Some
Ray.
of these services, they include in different things that you may purchase. Like our Verizon gave us free Apple TV.
They gave you the device?
No, Disney, the streaming portion of it. And then something else we did, maybe the same thing, gives us Hulu for no extra cost subscription.
Uh-huh.
So you can get multiple of these. Some of them are free, so you need to kind of search them out.
Okay, and what device are you using that on? Right on your TV, or did you get a Roku or a Fire Stick or something?
I use the Chromecast and a Fire Stick.
Okay,
That's it.
and that Hulu subscription runs on both of those?
That runs through the Fire Stick because there's a big war between Apple and Google. So some certain services won't run on the other device.
Yeah.
It's a little bit better now, but back in the day, it was just not compatible.
Yeah, the Fire Stick and the Roku run much of the same apps, whereas Apple and Chromecast is severely limited. And that's a shame because of all the features that they're offering now.
Yeah, and you have to basically stream. It's basically a device to help you stream from your device you're on, like your phone or laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get my wife a cup of tea.
Okay.
Well, first things first, Ray.
And one more thing before
Yeah.
I gotta go is that, like, I cut the cord years ago, did YouTube TV, and now we're back to being corded. We went back to Spectrum this year. It came down to the channels available. We like to watch the Cleveland Indians, and YouTube no longer had a deal with them to show their games.
So does that mean your dollar amount is up where it used to be, or no?
Actually, for the switching back over for the internet service itself, plus we just have like the basic package, nothing fancy. It's the same cost we were paying with the YouTube TV.
Okay.
Actually, a few dollars less.
Right. And you use the Spectrum for your internet too?
Yes.
And you're getting the 200 megabits?
Yes. That's the minimum now that they offer.
Yeah.
And
well,
then we also use their modem.
You might look into getting your own.
Well, I did have one for years, but you have to keep upgrading them every so many years because they just wear out after about 4 or 5 years. They just get slower and they don't keep up with technology. So I did a kind of a cost thing where Spectrum used to charge you an extra few dollars a month just to have it. Now it's included. And if you have a problem with it, I have a store right here in Menor. I just go up there and they swap it out for me. I go back home, plug it in, and you got an upgraded model.
Okay, let's clarify. So you're getting a modem, which I'm thinking is also a router and a hub.
Yes.
Okay, and there's no charge for that.
No.
It's just folded into your account.
Yeah. They charge you for it, but you don't see a line item on there.
Yeah,
It's
it's
part of
just
the
part
cost.
of you paying for the subscription.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, you know what? I guess there's no argument there then. But as in the presentation, Xfinity and Verizon both charge between $12 and $15 a month for their units.
And in that case, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I had a problem with my modem, and I got it from Micro Center and got top of the line with my router. And we have since gone back to the Spectrum one because they don't charge for it. And if I have a problem and they can't fix it over the phone, then I just take it up and switch it out.
Rob, are you at $75 a month for Spectrum?
Something like that. That's for the cable, and then with my channels, I'm at like $134. So
Got it.
another $60. You're right there with your streaming service.
I'm
And I
at
get
70
History Channel now, so I can see Oak Island again. I missed it.
Well, I love that show.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta go, guys. I'll talk to you
Actually,
later.
you could get it over the air. It's on one of the digital channels from 23.2 or something.
Yeah.
Carries the Curse of Oak Island and all the other ones that Forged in Fire and those guys.
Yeah, in 8th grade, I first read about Oak Island in reading class. We learned how to read faster, and we had to read that Reader's Digest article that first featured Oak Island and the whole legend behind it. And my teacher there, we had a big discussion. I was been fascinated ever since 8th grade.
Crazy.
Yeah, I
So
had maps of it.
So are you convinced that that the Knights Templar went there and maybe they stored their gold there and maybe the pirates came by there and tried to find it?
I believe somebody was there and something is there or was there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder why they haven't been more successful after all these years. And it ain't as though they ain't been trying. They tried even that Sonic thing where they had all them explosions
Mm-hmm.
and did a Sonic charts. I don't know. But anyway, it's a good thing these guys, Luganis
Yeah.
brothers, I'm glad they're dedicated to it, from Dan Blankenship. And now his son is helping out.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And, it's one of the reasons why you have to look around and make sure you get that kind of program if that's what you're after. And if the Spectrum did it for you and you're not paying more than you would to get a streaming service, then there's probably no reason not to, except
Right.
for the fact that eventually they're going to shut down cable.
Yeah. It came down to our channel choices and costs.
Yeah,
It was
but you don't have a
comparable.
cable box, right? You're streaming.
No, I do have a cable box.
Okay, well, that's
On-
going to
on
go
my
by the
main-
wayside because they
Yeah.
don't want to carry cable boxes anymore. So you'll be using a streaming service for
Yeah, I can.
Spectrum.
Yeah, I
in
can
not
do
too
that.
distant future.
I can watch it on my other devices,
Yeah.
and I can stream it to my Chromecast, like in
Yeah,
my bedroom
good.
TV and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
All
it looks
right,
like
I
you
gotta
got it all
go.
figured out. Okay, thank you, Rob.
See you all next week.
Thank you. See you next week. Anybody else want to chime in on this particular subject before we call it a day?
Yes, Tom, do you remember what the question you had for me while I was getting tea for my wife?
What did I think I just wanted to hear, while we're recording, I wanted to hear a bit about your service and
Yes.
about how long you've had it and, reliability and the cost and things like that.
Yes, thank you. The service is over 1,000 channels. It's $59.97 per month. There's no commitment. and it includes most of the premium movie channels. It includes most of the sports channels, a lot of international channels, a lot of local channels across the country, as well as Hallmark, which my wife that's a favorite for my wife. When I first presented this a couple years ago, the service was a little glitchy. It dropped out occasionally, in spite of the fact that, I had at the time 100 megabit spectrum service. Now, as you do, I have 200 megabit spectrum service. But now, for the past 6 to 12 months, it's been relatively reliable, and it works well, and it works on Fire Stick. And I believe it also works on Roku now, although I haven't tried it on Roku. I just have 2 Fire Sticks, one for each TV, and it works very well.
So the app runs on Roku, and does it have a listing like the cable service used to have?
Yes,
like times and
menu.
Yeah.
It has a menu, and it also has a favorites portion of that menu. So, for example, if there's 10 to 20 or 30 channels that you normally want to watch and want to go to directly, you don't have to search through the 1,000 or 2 that it has. You just go directly to the favorites area and select that channel, and you begin watching that channel.
Wow. It sure sounds inviting.
Again, there is no, you pay for 1 month, and if you're happy, fine, keep it. If you're not happy, stop paying, and this service goes away.
Incredible. And it runs on an app on Roku.
I believe it's also on Roku now too. I've heard them mention Roku. I don't personally use Roku. I have no experience with Roku. All I know is it works well on the Fire Stick.
Fire Stick, okay. And the name of the service is?
It used to be called NVTV. I believe now they've rebranded it under TCC.
Okay. But we'll have them get in contact with you anyway. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So also you could just contact the Network Breakfast, and we'll put you in touch with Ray, and you could try this service out. There's no contract, and it falls in line with everything we've talked about in today's episode of how to cut the cable cord and save money in 2021. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Trina. Good luck tomorrow. It's going to explode. And thank you, Scott, for sticking around to the end. We appreciate everybody. And absolutely. And we'll talk to you again next Tuesday morning. Thanks ever so much for visiting us here at the Network Breakfast. And once again, we'll bid you a fond adieu, and we'll see you next Tuesday morning. Bye.
Sure. Okay, bye.